Saskatchewan Championship Curling is brought to you by Viterra, SaskTel, Service Equipment, White Ice and Eastside Paint and Wallpaper, Jiffy Lube, CurlSask, and SaskTel Max.
Good evening and welcome to the Northern Lights Palace in Melfort. Typically home of the Melfort Mustangs of the SJHL, but this week home to the Viterra Scotties Tournament of Hearts. Try to determine Saskatchewan's representative to the 2018 national event. My name is Sean Joyce. I'm here with Kim Hudson and Susan Lang.
Hello.
And we're going to be featuring the game tonight between Sherry Anderson and Chantel Eberle. Both of these teams come in with 2 wins, although Anderson's played 1 extra game. She's got 2 losses as well, and you'd like to avoid the 3rd one this early. I'm going to ask each of you to talk a little bit about one of these teams, but you've got a daughter on one team, you've got a former teammate on the other, so I'm going to mix it up on you. You tell me what we're expecting from the Anderson team.
I think I'm looking for them to regroup from this game they had this afternoon. They weren't particularly sharp. Sherry's got all the veteran experience on that team. She's playing with some girls that are just barely out of juniors, 2 and 3 years, trying to gain experience at this level. So it's always a long shot when you've got a team like that they can play brilliantly in front of you, or they might not have a great game. So with Sherry's team, I mean, her veteran experience can only take her so far, so you just never know what's going to come out at you when you're playing the Anderson team.
And we saw Chantel Eberle last night. What are we looking for them from them in this game?
Exactly that. And you already said they're 2-1, but the thing is, they just had a loss this morning and then they had a break. So that's not a lot of fun. You don't like having that break after a loss. So we're going to see what Coach Mark Lang has to say and do this afternoon to regroup his team, get them ready to come back out and play. All
right. Well, we'll also keep you up to date on the other games going on in this draw. The Nancy Martin team is playing against Amber Holland on sheet 1. It is Candace Chisholm and Ashley Howard on sheet 2. Penny Barker will be playing against Stephanie Lawton on sheet 4. And we'll update the standings on all of the teams as well. But for now, before we get started, let's meet the teams in tonight's game.
Hi, I'm Chantel Eberle, skip of Team Eberle. Lead is Haley Jameson. Second is Larissa Murray. Third is Christy Gamble. And coach absent is Mark Lang. And we curl out of the Kelly Curling Club in Regina, Saskatchewan.
Hi, I'm Sherry Anderson from Team Anderson. Our lead is Carly Kurczynski. Our second is Krista Fesser. Our third is Courtney Fesser. And we curl out of the Nutana Curling Club.
All right, just about set to go here. While the teams take their last warm-up slides, we'll try to take a look here at the standings coming into this draw. One of the things we were talking about during the break, rather than teams starting to pull away from each other, what we saw in this afternoon's draw, they started to close up a little bit. Stephanie Lawton took her first loss. She falls to 3-1. Candace Chisholm and Nancy Martin both picked up their first victories. So they're climbing up. There you've got, that's the spread. 3 teams at 2 wins right now. Robin Silvernagel, Stephanie Lawton on top of the field with 3 wins apiece. We'll see a lot of jockeying for position really starting from this draw on forward until we determine who the 4 playoff teams are.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we were saying, Sean, is that this is a very even field. You've got your top-ranked teams coming in, and then your bottom-ranked teams have a lot of the veterans on them, and you know that they can play as well, and they can turn it on. So these teams are going to be all getting tighter and tighter, and every game is going to be very important.
So lead Carly Korchinski with the first drop of the game. All across the board, yellow's got hammer in the first end. Chantel Eberle, Haley Jameson's turn to draw for the hammer, and Haley put it on the side of the button, and that was good enough to win the hammer for the start of this game. Everybody has to throw at least 1 rock to determine hammer, and then after the roster's been through everybody's had 1 shot, then you can pick whomever you like to draw for hammer for the rest of the game.
Well, and we do see that the Anderson team put their first rock a little deep, and some teams might go out and throw a corner guard, but Chantel says, let's just play it clean this first end. Not going to mess it up too much.
Krajinski with several junior women's jackets. To her credit, playing with Kristen Streifel out at Saskatoon for many years.
Well, and Susan, we do know that you're up to date on that junior curling, and we'd like to say congratulations to your junior team and to you as well. Off to nationals. Very exciting.
Oh, thank you very much. That's a nice honor for Team Sarah England to capture that title. Sarah's first year of skipping, and Shelby Brandt, her first year of curling third. And Stasha Wisniewski, she's always been a back-end player, but she accepted a new role at second, and then our returning lead, Rayanne Zer. So the girls put it all together on the weekend, and it was really nice to see.
Sounds like some good coaching to me.
I did my best to stay out of their way.
Chance here to split the rings. Chantel Eberle throwing the Yellowstones, does have last rock here in the first end.
Just a 10's probably good. Okay.
Krista Besser, one of the two twins out on the ice here.
Looking to make the hit on the shot stone and roll towards that second shot at least. Makes the hit, pretty much a nose hit.
You know, the fact that they didn't sweep that makes me think that that's what they were playing.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they weren't trying to roll the other way to group them.
As soon as you bring your weight down, you're going to lose the line, and that rock wasn't thrown quite as solidly as what I think Chantel was expecting. As we've commented on other draws, the ice is very weight sensitive. It'll give you every shot that you ask for, but you have to throw what's been called.
You bet. Separates the wheat from the chaff.
Oh. Cream gets separated from something too, but I can't remember.
I used men from the boys before. That was a little sexist.
Especially at the women's provincial. Wheat and chaff works good for Team Saskatchewan.
I thought that was pretty good myself.
So hit and roll out there by Krista, but at least a half shot. Doesn't get you into any trouble here in this early stage.
Wait, pretty good. Three. Okay. Up here, guys. Lots of room. Three. Lots of room.
Oh, we're slipping in.
Calling for the corner.
We're in still.
Yeah, I think we're okay.
It's a tight corner, but it is a corner guard.
9.
Close enough to the rings, though, there should be a chance to roll in off of it.
So the second part of our twins duo out here. Courtney Fesser in the half. Even with pretty firm weight, that did curl up quite a bit too.
Sure did, and that is something we have noticed, is there's some nice curl from the center line back to the boards.
That was mine, I guess.
Inside out, as we call it.
Didn't really touch yours though.
85 on yours, so I feel like 75.
Okay. 75, 80.
Nice opportunity for Christy Gamble to tuck a rock in behind that corner guard.
Yeah, a little bit. Line only. Line only. 6, 7. Yeah, you gotta go. 8. With legs something. Yeah.
Rushers don't really want to go. They're indicating this is going to be deep, but they've got to get it by.
Already, so you gotta go. Yep, roll it.
It's on the red. Manages to be thin enough that they don't push the red in, still get the yellow into the ring. So Sherry Anderson will have to make a play on it.
Didn't sound like Christy was inside the broom on that one. I think they're still getting fooled by an out-turn throw that's there. Weight was pretty nice.
Susan, you were making reference to the Twins, and thought it was interesting that for this particular team, the way they've determined to tell them apart, or for the fans to tell them apart, that they put K Fesser on one of the jerseys, which is interesting because both of them spell their name with a K.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't help.
Well, they only put it on one jersey, though.
Did you turn that?
Well, the kids, they don't even bother saying Courtney and Krista. They just call them the professors.
Ah. Well, at least when they put a different letter on the jersey, that keeps them from doing anything dishonest. I've often wondered with Twins, sometimes you might be better off if I'll throw all the interns, you throw all the outturns. That way we only have to know how to throw one turn. Nobody can tell the difference.
Yeah. Nice.
Makes the hit, rolls over, stays for a biter. Sherry Anderson will have to make a play on this, and really the way things are shaping up right now, you have to think we're looking at a possible blank here in the first end.
I would think so.
And both teams might be okay with that. We did notice in Sherry Anderson's game this afternoon a bit of a different script for them. They've had some big swings back and forth in their games, for and against them. So obviously been playing a lot of rocks in play, and there were a lot of single points scored in their afternoon game, plus a few blank ends.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if they've decided to change things up a little bit. And you know what? Anderson's team is probably also quite happy because they sort of escaped with one here. It was sort of setting up for a deuce, so
yes,
they'll be happy with
she didn't want to nose
blank.
hit that.
And here's a chance again for Everly.
It's a chance if she's willing to take the risk of coming around a red guard that tight.
Looks like she is. And really, it's not a ton of risk. Even if she makes the run back and nails it, it's only going to be 8 foot. Draw for your one.
The danger really would be if she happened to rub the guard coming by and push it in and then maybe get forced.
Okay. I was thinking a shot ahead, and I thought even if she is looking at 2, Susan calls those routine anyway, so. Never going to live that one down, Susan.
I am not. Well, they've opened up the broom here, giving a little bit more line here. The sweepers seem to think they've got nice top house. But it's going hard now as the weight's coming off. Curling very quickly. So she had the line, but not the weight this time around.
Yeah, weight could have been a tad light as well.
With the yellow rocks, we've seen 2 games here where Stephanie Lawton had yellow 7 and 8, and Amber Holland had yellow 7 and 8, and both those very experienced skips struggled with rock 7 and 8. I can't tell here if they've switched anything out, but they all thought one was straighter than the other. I think number 7 they thought was straighter, and the number 8 rock curled.
Yep,
yeah,
that's
Amber
exactly right.
Amber was using the 8 as a cutter. I don't know if Stephanie ever noticed perhaps that her 7 wasn't curling as much. That was the very first draw. They were having trouble with a few spots on the ice in that game. Some spots were straighter than others as it was.
Many years ago, we always used to have a bit of a running joke. Kevin Martin, didn't matter where he played and what sheet and what rocks, he always said the same thing. 7's a cutter, 8's a pig. Always.
I used to have a rock book that showed that, but it was 5 and 6. It had something to do with the guy playing third for me.
Sherry trying to take advantage of these rocks up front on her last one, but she's...
This is going to be well short.
Looking too close. No. Well, after all of those half shots, looks like we got an easy blank end for Chantel.
It does take away any chance for the split for 2. If that doesn't stop there, Chantel might have taken a run at it.
True.
Oh, for sure. Chantel sets up for this shot, when we were reviewing the standing boards, I did find that remarkable that it's only draw 4, 9 teams, and not 1-0 on that standing into draw 5. But starting draw 5,
Yeah.
4 games, phenomenal. Nobody undefeated and nobody
Without a win. Yeah.
And in our feature game, nobody with any points through the first stand. We'll go into the second end. Chantel Eberle holding last rock.
O Canada, glowing hearts, see thee rise. True north, true pride, strong and free, both far and wide. This land is glorious, and it's ours, from sea to shining sea.
You're always home on Canada's largest wireless network with no roaming fees.
As Canada's grain industry leader, Viterra and its employees are connected to their communities across Western Canada. Through its community investment program, Viterra supports a wide variety of causes and initiatives, including those focused on sports and recreation that encourage teamwork, integrity, and high performance. These same values guide Viterra's employees when providing farm customers with trusted advice and quality service. Viterra is a proud sponsor of the Scotties Tournament of Hearts.
White Ice, the ice paint people, set out to develop a very specific ice paint product that would satisfy the needs of the professional ice maker in both hockey and curling. White Ice was successfully formulated and tested, and distribution began in 1988 and has since expanded their line of products and services to meet the needs of today's professional ice makers. White Ice is distributed by Eastside Paint and Wallpaper in Saskatoon, who is also a signature Benjamin Moore paint dealer. White Ice and Eastside Paint and Wallpaper, defining the game.
Welcome back, everyone. Be right into action here in the second end. Carly Krushinski in the hacks. And has been asked to throw, I believe they're looking for the tight center guard here.
As we like to say, textbook. Time to get at it.
So watching Kristen Courtney sweeping here. Last year they were Team Saskatchewan at the Canadian Mixed Championship. And what was really interesting there is now Christy Gamble playing for Chantel Eberle was Team Nova Scotia at that same Canadian Mix. So that was a lot of fun going out to watch and everybody sitting and mingling together. But for as young as Carly, Kristen, Courtney all are, it's amazing the number of national championships these 3 curlers have amongst the 3 of them. And then, of course, Sherry herself has a few thrown in.
A couple.
Well, and Sherry Anderson off to the Worlds in April.
Sure is. Senior ladies.
Senior ladies champion, Canadian champion. I can't pronounce the name of the town. It starts with one of those funny looking O's, but it's somewhere in Sweden that they get to go to in April wearing the maple leaf.
So you can't, not only can you not pronounce it, it's one of those ones you can't type on your own keyboard either.
Exactly.
Now the first stone was brought in a little deeper than they would have liked for sure, even if they were playing into the rings. Comes to bite the back 4. Still going to play a guard on it. A lot of times when a team does play that first rock into the rings, if it's not in what we call a stealable position, they'll bring the second one in as well.
But every time, so many times when that does happen, it comes in top 8 and then the other team hits and rolls under that corner guard and you just go, oh shoot. So you're kind of hooped anyways when you're starting out with your first rock at the back of the rings.
Yeah, they're not going to be happy with the way this end is set up anyway. They've got one back 8 foot and that guard is far too high.
Quite long.
Chantel Eberle pretty happy with everything she's got to work with here. She's got a corner guard in a good spot, and the 2 rocks in the middle probably working more to her advantage than against her right now.
Exactly, even though they're red, they're advantage Eberle.
Rushers are going to have to go on this to get shot rock out of it. Comes up a little bit short. It's just full 8 foot. Second shot right now, and Probably poked out into the open on the other
Yeah,
side a
very
little
much
bit.
there. You can see the nice curl on the ice, how much it overcurled.
Still at a pretty good spot for them. That rock at the back won't worry them too much yet.
Nope.
Looking for the come around here, maybe sit beside that yellow, corner it, or just tuck around it a piece, but Brusher's indicating this is going to be well back in the house. If it stops at all.
Yeah, I think calling out the 8 was perhaps wishful thinking.
I hope it's going to stop for an 8.
Maybe.
Well, it was an 8, just too bad it was briefly.
Yeah, it was an 8 for a while.
So Larissa Murray going to make an attempt to move that shot stone at the back now. And this is the nice thing for the Eberle team with the fact that first stone didn't come right back as far as they would have liked, but by over curling the guard, they actually still left themselves room to make a play on that stone. And if they could have shot rock at the top of the 8-foot, they're in great spot. Sweeping from the offside to try to get the curl. Oh, great job on the brush. Nice throw. And Eberle sits 2. Looking for the hit and flop underneath here. By the guard, still has to get by the rock at the top of the 8-foot. Now is it going to roll too far? And it will roll over to be second shot.
We've mentioned a few times that we need to give kudos to the ice makers. You'll see the rocks move everywhere and a very nice consistent time. It's been about 14.5, 14, 7 or 8, all 5 draws. So, and it holds up for 10 and even 11 ends.
And that's with pregame practice also. That
good point.
The ice gets a true test with all the curling it's been seeing, but I think as a curler, when you can get some curl and have that speed be consistent across the sheet and through basically 12 ends of play practically, that's just a curler's dream to be out in conditions like that.
Yeah.
Well, this is not something we've seen through the first 4 draws. There's been a lot of draws come up short already in these first 2 ends.
And that is true.
Last second decision to make sure that they didn't just feather tick that guard.
Yeah, second best.
Yeah.
And we've seen that a few times already this past couple of days where just rubs on the way by and really doesn't move the guard enough to help you.
But misses the back one.
Okay, you got this.
third, Christy Gamble, just recently moving back to Saskatchewan. She's been here 1 year now, but had been living in Quebec for 6 years and Nova Scotia for 7. Happy to be wearing Rough Rider colors back in friendly Rough Rider land again.
Go, Haley, go. Go right back. Right back.
She finds the weight on that one, but certainly not the line they were looking for. That's
No, it took its
pretty
time.
much wide open.
Didn't we say this last night too, where it seemed like the sheet curled more towards sheet 2, but not sheet 4, like it was?
That's true.
Yeah, that was just happening.
We had both of our feature games, the one that was just on the website, as well as the Sasktel Max game last night, were on this sheet, and we did seem to notice that it was curling more towards sheet 2, but we weren't seeing these weight issues. We've seen, as I said, several people come up short, and a couple of them well short of the rings already in this opening 2 ends. This is the 3rd draw of the day, and it'll be the only day that there are 3 draws. Well, she found some curl towards sheet 4 there, and it's going to roll just a little bit too far. It's still the Yellowstone at the top of the 8-foot for sitting for shot rock. So another chance for Christy to try to make that come around on the corner guard. Pressure's indicating it's deep. They don't mind being back there a little bit, but you got to stop in time to be second shot.
Which she did.
Still shot.
That sweepers jumped that, but they heard the line call saying it's a bit tight, so they had to make sure that it didn't catch the curl too early.
It does leave a chance for Sherry Anderson to try to draw in front of those 2 stones, try to take the end away a little bit. Even if she makes this shot and takes away the 2 yellow counters as of right now, Chantel Eberle's still got a chance for her deuce. She's still got the corner guard and rocks behind the D line.
Yeah, for sure. She'll be using them.
If and when we get a chance to go to sheet 1, our 2 skips out there have traded trick shots. Pretty remarkable.
Sherry Anderson with her first stone here in the 2nd end. In a little bit of trouble facing 2, but she's got a chance to sit in front of shot rock and take those 2 away for now.
Wait only! Wait close. Whoa, whoa, no.
But once again, we see
It's got a long
rock
way
on
to
this
curl.
turn with a lot of room.
No, no.
Comes down, nudges that stone just a bit. Hard to tell whether Chantel can get to the inside of that.
Well, the way Sherry's moved, it did go sideways. The end.
Late 2 is kind of important. That was 13. What kind of weight well, not much more. Yeah. So 13.5 is really.
So it'd be great if Chantel can throw T-line weight, leave it for the sweepers to give it that extra 3 feet weight or so, catch the line.
Make a pretty good freeze, because I think if we cannot touch ours, we'll lay 3.
There you heard the explanation.
Like those were timing 13.8, both of those.
Yeah.
So like a 13.5.
Okay.
Just want to push it a bit.
Sure. Let's do this.
So it does sound about 3-4 feet heavier than some of the weight that we've seen most
Exactly.
of the
Yeah.
week so far.
Key here will be when she throws that little bit of extra weight to get the bump. We've seen these rocks run a little bit straight already on this turn this end. And you add 3 feet weight, 3 feet of weight to get the bump. Will it curl at all?
And and it depends when it catches that center line, because that's when it really seems to
Little
go.
big. We're just through. Yeah. Let it work. Whoa.
Still on the center line side, needs to get that last bit of finish.
Okay.
Gets enough to nudge it back and sit 2, but did move the 1 yellow stone, so
Maybe I
not,
should have tried to
not
make it
sitting
curl.
3.
You think or no?
Not a lot of room to move that yellow one anywhere, though. Sherry's just going to play the freeze right to it.
I know, but I hit there, didn't I?
Not too tight. You just turned it in. So.
Well, I think the same ice, if I throw it, should be fine, right?
Sherry turns in an out turn. I didn't think that ever happened.
Not very often.
Okay, well, we kicked it far enough that we're third over there. So, yeah, to weld this right on the face here, guys. You bet. We can, it doesn't have to be, I mean, we can be a little on this side to be shot rock. Yeah. Take off a few feet, eh? I think I can go 14 and a half now? I'd say so. Close. Yeah? Sweet? Okay, for top 4. Not bad there.
Big shot here for Sherry Anderson. If she can't put this in a good spot, it's a possibility of 3 yet.
Line's good. You can go if you need to. Wait on me. Stay close. There it goes. Go. Yep. Yeah, line. Yes, line. Hard for line. Hard, guys. Quick. Hard.
I don't think they were ever worried about weight on
Call
that
was coming
shot.
out hard for Lyon, and it was the weight
Yeah.
that was the problem.
Yeah, tell
But
about the hog line.
But was interesting, Sherry saying 14 and a half. I think she threw what she wanted, but we heard Chantel, even though she wanted to throw, firm T-line plus, was talking 13 and a half, just about, just under 14. We're talking, that's 3 to
It's a
6
huge difference.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
we could come. We could just hit this back one. Even if we rolled it there.
Yeah.
Is this for 3?
I mean, that might be easier than a draw.
The hit looks easier than the draw.
Pardon?
The hit looks easier than the draw if it's a 3, right?
Yeah, you do see Everly sitting 2 already. It's just where do you draw the
Yeah, I'm not
your
sure
third
that
shot?
you played the same draw the entire end. Why all of a sudden does it look hard?
Well, I'm just repeating. And that is what they are going to play.
It's playing the straight draw?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
Like, I don't want to hit.
okay, it's whatever you like.
Yeah, the hit is pretty precise. We have to, stay there.
Okay. Are we 1-2 right now?
Yeah. I like this. We just throw it,
for
right?
sure.
Yeah.
So throw a little bit less and...
Did just throw it 4 times in a row.
Yeah.
More than once.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I need a 14 probably, right?
I like
those
14.
pass were 13.5. And mine was a 12 something.
Okay, 14.
So they say draw weight is a 14, whereas for the last 4 draws, it's been 14 and a half or even a bit quicker. So perhaps a tad bit slower here tonight.
6, 7, wait all you. Wait only, let it curl. Let it curl.
Okay.
Let it curl. We're on the yellow. 7.
the yellow.
7. Whoa.
Can we rub a little?
Can't go yet. No.
I got it.
Go.
Well, and that's been the bigger problem was the line and the weight. That one holds 2 straight, taps the yellow, and it will just be a score of 2. Still, Chantel Eberle jumping out to a 2-point lead. Sherry Anderson will have last rock in the 3rd.
As Canada's grain industry leader, Viterra and its employees are connected to their communities across Western Canada. Through its community investment program, Viterra supports a wide variety of causes and initiatives, including those focused on sports and recreation that encourage teamwork, integrity, and high performance. These same values guide Viterra's employees when providing farm customers with trusted advice and quality service. Viterra is a proud sponsor of the Scotties Tournament of Hearts.
When you need to hurry, you can count on Team Jiffy Lube. With fast, warranty-approved service while you wait. Jiffy Lube, your oil change experts.
All right, people, let's get to work. Lights off.
Ma'am, there's someone at the door. Unknown male, might be a salesman.
Take care of it. You, drop the temperature. I'm roasting.
Ma'am, your straightening iron. Shall I pull the plug?
Yes. While you're at it, leave room for milk.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, we'll give you a quick update on all of the scores here in this draw number 5 this evening. Susan?
Start of a circus here on sheet 1. Amber Holland picks up 1 point in the first end, trying to get around two very high guards that were frozen together. Crashes the guard, looking at one Martin Stone, runs her shooter in, bang onto the button. 1 point Amber Holland. And then on the Martin team, Taryn is drawing against 2. Wiki ticks off an extremely high corner guard, just redirects, feathers in nicely to nestle into the 2 Holland rocks sitting around the button for her 1 point.
Well, nowhere near that exciting over on sheet 2. It's been pretty wide open. Candace took her 1 point in the first end. Second end was blank. Third end, there was nothing in play, and that was basically blank as well. So score play in the third end on sheet 2 is 1-0 Chisholm over Howard.
Chantel Eberly with a chance to draw a full 8 foot for her third point. Just touched a guard that was already in, or a rock that was already in play, and didn't make that, but still settles for a very comfortable 2-ender here to go up 2-0 in the third.
And over on sheet 4, it's been a well-curled game, but Penny Barker herself has made some fabulous shots. They got a deuce in the first end, and she made a spectacular come-around draw and managed to steal 1 in the second. So the score over on sheet 4, 3-0 Barker over Lawton.
Yes, Penny must have done something remarkable, because when I looked over, there were a lot of yellow rocks in some very nice positions.
Yeah.
9. Yep. Please.
Hi, girl. Nice throw.
So the first stone here was brought into the rings. And we've had a bit of an exchange of stones.
Now we see the call for the corner.
Speed will be good.
A little big?
Yeah.
Not bad.
We're only in draw 5. We've got a long few days still ahead of us. Kim, you might have to grab the coach for the Howard team and get some tips on getting your voice back before this is all done.
Yeah, exactly. Good old Russ Howard. He would always lose his voice partway through. I was going to say, you probably perhaps wondering why Sherry's throwing the corner guard with this one and why she didn't throw it with the last one, but my guess is that Chantel's team put that rock in too good a position, so they decided to hit it.
What do you guys think?
Now that this one's only biting the 4, they decide to throw the corner.
80.
I like an 82.
Okay.
And just with the angle of that picture, that red corner looks a little closer than what it really is a little bit. It's just a little bit deceptive, so it's a longer corner guard for sure.
Doing pretty good. 4. Just a 3. Just a 3. Really curling. Okay. Oh, we're going to over just 3. Just 3.
We're not in.
We're halfway. No. Halfway. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. No.
Trying to make a guard on an existing stone is always a little tricky. She's going to get the cover, but that's a really long guard.
Exactly.
Hair tight, Chantel? Yeah,
You're not really where you want to be when you're already up 2-0. You're just
back line.
inviting trouble with a
Just
high rock like that.
Yeah, you sure are.
Yeah, back line, I think. Back line.
I just remember watching Kevin Martin play, and as soon as there was a rock up that high, I didn't care whose rock it was getting peeled off. Just terribly uncomfortable with rocks, just that so close to the hog line.
Hey? Yes. Yes. Yes, Court. Yes. Yes! Hard, guys, quick! Hurry! Slow!
Good job on the brush to get by the guard.
Shot.
Good shot. That's the trouble with those long guards. They're not really guarding anything. There's tons of room to get the curl after.
Interesting, though, they worked that hard to get it by the guard. Didn't get quite enough finish to stay under cover.
A lot of weight, though.
Yeah, true. Probably more than they had in mind.
Weight's nice. Take the soft. Clean. Whoa. Ha, clean. Clean. Over bump. Over bump. Clean. Clean it. Clean it. Yep. Yep. Maybe try and roll it a bit. Good. Cut a girl.
Makes the hit.
Yeah. Hey. Bump. Bump. Okay. Couple feet more. Line. That was hack.
A little bit of room now between the rock and the guard. Should be easier to get the roll underneath if that's what they're looking for.
You're down! I thought down. You think up? 11. No, 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 no. No, no. Carl.
But again, hard to get big movement towards sheet 4 and just gets the nose hit there.
Okay, Christy. I think this is fine. Right to it. Nice 10 here.
That guard's not getting any closer to the rings, but as this shooter keeps climbing up, if you ever make the roll behind, it's going to get hard to get it out.
Hard! Yep, hard! Stick with it. Hard! Go! Quick, 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 quick! No roll, no roll. We're all the way. Yep.
Makes the hit. This one will roll past the guard. Sits for shot rock. The other side of the 4-foot, and this will give Sherry Anderson a chance to play the hit and roll behind her own corner guard.
Yeah, gets the play away from the middle.
Yeah, even though that rock's fairly high, Sherry Anderson will be happy to get the play over towards the corner.
You bet.
Fairly risk-free chance to try to set up your deuce and at the very least keep the blank alive.
They're going the other way.
Well, they played the turn that curls a little more and couldn't hold it.
Got a little caught.
You want 10? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Both of you ladies have skipped in the past. This is our third game watching this sheet. These teams don't get to play on it as much as we get to watch it, so we've noticed the difference from one side to another. When you do have the two sides that are not curling quite the same amount, maybe it's better if it's a lot more drastic. It's a lot easier to pick up. It is fairly subtle, but it is curling more one direction than the other.
Yeah,
I loved it because I'd always look for the straight side, so I could throw my in turn and have a hope.
Yeah, that's where experience usually shows up, and you have the wily veterans who pick up on those sorts of things. And we have two very experienced skips here. And I'm sure they'll pick up on that soon enough. My thought was we have Sherry's team without a coach and a couple teams without coaches here, and it's usually the coaches or the fifth's responsibility to be scouting rocks and these little idiosyncrasies. So it'll be interesting to see the teams without coaches who's picking up on those things.
Well, Chantel has played on this sheet already. She was on the sheet last night.
Yeah, that's right.
I think this is Sherry's first time on sheet 3.
No. Oh, nope. Sherry played on here earlier this morning as well. It was her game against Martin here. However, the ice can change, and the paths can change from draw to draw.
Especially a morning draw through to an evening draw.
Absolutely.
2 draws later.
And that's the other thing, you know, the ice was lightning fast in the morning draw, and it seems to have gotten just slightly. I'm not saying much at all, but there is certainly, it's getting a little bit heavier tonight.
Probably just that little bit that Sherry was light in the second end, trying to draw the T-line weight.
Yeah.
This morning, certainly that would have been there easily.
Yep.
Say 10. 10. Clean. No, we got touch line here. No, you can't.
Chantel Eberle trying to make a play on that shot stone.
Close. Nope. No roll. Just stay with it, Larissa. Nope.
Makes the hit. Just going to roll over towards the corner and actually past that corner guard into the out when in the 12-foot. Sherry Anderson thinking about just playing the draw to try to get her deuce here.
Over on sheet 4, we were talking about how Penny Barker had some pretty spectacular shots to be up 3-0, but Stephanie Lawton's throwing her last rock here, and it's a draw for 3.
Needs
she has to get full
8-foot. Looks like it's gliding in there nicely. Sweeper's just on and off, light dusting. Looks like 3 points for Stephanie Lawton.
Ties that game up.
14.5. Okay.
Well, and maybe we're wrong. I just heard Sherry's team tell her it's 14.5. So.
Definitely not up. We're a little down. Okay, yep. Yep. 4. Yep. 5. Room. Now, line only. Room. 6. 7. Line's really good. Just 8 foot. Just 8 foot. Just 8 foot.
A little deep, but stops in time to be shot rock behind that corner.
Just draw to it, eh? If the line is good, we could play the tack.
Chantel gonna follow her down.
Almost center line. I think that's fine. Okay.
14.4, 14.5, I guess. 14.3.
So Chantel going to try to follow that stone down. Well, a chance here for Chantel Eberly to follow this down, and she could get the force. Get the hammer back in the 4th end. She has to place this really well, though. It's got to be almost welded because there is the opportunity for Sherry Anderson to possibly come off the other Yellowstone, play a double if she leaves some space.
Like some backing. Backing.
This is where you have to be careful not to lose it on the over curl.
Go hard. Go for the tap. Right up. Go double. Whoa.
You heard Chantel call no double. That was a little late to think about it for the first time, but I think they're in a good spot.
Yeah, I think if Sherry plays a double, she'd probably lose her shooter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And if
Yeah.
you miss it,
Yeah.
I think we'll skip one.
Okay. Whatever you're seeing.
I like Sherry's call here. You know, there is a chance you could get your 2 points here, and if you were later on in the game or desperate to get your 2, you certainly could, but it's only the 3rd end. You got lots of time. Take your sure one and play on.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's a shot there for 2.
Don't make contact.
I like this.
Well, I don't like to tell a man he's wrong, but you're wrong.
Yeah, you tried that once today on the triple, remember?
Shouldn't it? Same? This pass should be the same.
Yeah, it should be the same as what Eastern.
Okay. So I'll give you 14.3.
Well, now I heard them say 14-3, so.
Just asking Sherry to throw a couple feet more than what she has been.
Line's good.
Which is interesting considering her last one went back 12. Low difference coming to center line as opposed to going to the boards.
This rock's really curling towards that guard. Don't know if it's, don't know if it's got the weight.
Definitely moving.
Yeah, that went almost straight sideways. It will be a steal of 1. Chantel Eberly takes a 3-0 lead. Sherry Anderson will keep last rock for the 4th.
White Ice, the ice paint people, set out to develop a very specific ice paint product that would satisfy the needs of the professional ice maker in both hockey and curling. White Ice was successfully formulated and tested, and distribution began in 1988 and has since expanded their line of products and services to meet the needs of today's professional ice makers. White Ice is distributed by Eastside Paint and Wallpaper in Saskatoon, who is also a signature Benjamin Moore paint dealer. White Ice and Eastside Paint and Wallpaper, defining the game.
Introducing the all-new heated cab for the John Deere 1R tractor. Simply captivating.
Welcome back, everyone. We mentioned off the top how the standings were tightening up so far today, and we've got tight games all the way across in this evening's draw.
The Nancy Martin team made Amber Holland look at 2 on her last throw. Amber had to come through a fairly narrow port with an out-turn draw to the full 4-foot plus, and Amber slid just a little bit deep to give up the steal of just 1 to go down 2-1.
And over here on sheet 2, we can maybe see the house. It's after a
stone here.
Yeah, and this is the last shot coming in here, and Ashley doesn't have too much. I'll be honest. There's a conglomeration of red all around the button. And there we go. We can just watch her last rock. It's been a fairly wide open game up to this point.
Ashley on her first rock had tried to run a red Chisholm rock into that big pile. She opened it up, but Candace just came right down, and that rock that's on the button is Candace's final stone at the end.
So Ashley looking to come down. It's basically a straight draw. She's got to get to the inside of that red stone, and even then, I don't know if she can get shot rock.
Well, she has the line, but not the weight, I don't think.
Doesn't have the weight. This is going to come up short, and now...
You think it's a steal of 3?
A steal of 3? That's a big swing in that game.
Yeah, it sure is.
In our feature game, we saw where Sherry Anderson needed an out-turn draw to the full 8-foot, but it came up just a little bit light, allowing Chantel Eberly to steal a point, take a 3-0 lead going into the 4th end.
And over on sheet 4, we talked about Stephanie's draw to the 4-foot to get her 3 points, which she made. Ties that game up at 3-3, playing the 4th end, Parker versus Lawton.
So Haley Jameson drops another rock short here, where now you're up 3-0, and you definitely do not want that rock there. You'd have been better off to put it to the board. So this definitely helps Sherry Anderson, having 3 rocks up front, and she's only on the 4th rock at the end.
They went from lots of room to hard for line very quickly, but it was light. Yep.
Yes, it was light, but they also switched.
They sure did.
Position and maybe did it a little early.
We come around, or we try some here? I think we got to get rid of something, right? Well, I just don't know. You're probably gonna run. You might run the back of it. Cigars are helping them. So. Okay. We gotta get rid of cigars. Throw peel in case you clip the 1.
I agree with Larissa. You've got a 3-point lead. You've already got 4 rocks in front of the house. That's not what you want.
It's a few too many.
It's at least 3 too many, and it might be 4.
Changes the color, gets it back to center, but doesn't change a whole lot there.
I think they were hoping to get 2 of them moving there.
Yeah.
Hit that a lot closer to the nose than they were wanting.
Interesting call by Sherry, but I know she doesn't like those
Yeah,
yellow rocks right out there in the control zone.
and she certainly can't like 2 of them. She could try to play the double on them, but she's not that worried yet. She wants to make sure she's got one side of the 4-foot covered, though. Makes the hit, leaves the shooter right there.
No, I like your first call.
Yeah, Chantel's anxious to get into those rings, but the scoreboard, and I'm glad her team is saying no, let's keep hitting, but
10 is fine. Okay.
this is...
I know what she's thinking here, though. You climb that up another rock, and Sherry Anderson's probably going to come around it this time. She won't worry about hitting it.
Yeah, well, you can't peel them all.
No, at some point in time, you do have to make that decision.
Yeah.
There. You can't
Might as well
rid of
get
them
in
all.
there first.
But now
Makes
you're
the
back
nose
to
hit.
2 yellows versus 1 red for control zone up front there.
The 2 yellows aren't even anymore, though, so it makes any kind of run back a little harder.
I like that way better. Yeah. It's only your second. I don't think we need to go guns out yet. Feel?
And I don't know which of the twins said it, not because I couldn't tell them apart, but I just couldn't see who mouthed the words. I heard it, though.
So
They
you don't
felt
know
these
if it
guards
was-
are still pretty ugly, and
You don't know if it was Fesser or K Fesser?
yeah, that's right.
Shooter, Carly, shooter.
Oh, just missed getting the double peel. That would have been,
Well, that's what they were playing.
yeah. Mind you, losing the shooter wasn't the greatest option.
Well, I
I think they thought it would stay closer over there on the corner.
yeah, and Chantel saying we can't peel all these. This one's a center. It's only the 4th end. Let's go.
Like an 80? Yeah. Let's go. Where? 7. Line will be good. Line only. 8. Close. 8. Line only. Maybe 9. 8 for sure. Okay, we're gonna be close. Coming down. Line's great. Where else? Still don't want to. Sit. Hi, girl. Okay.
Pulls that stone nicely in behind cover, but slides just behind the tee line.
Yeah, hair deep. Sherry wants to make darn sure that she can at least get her 1 point this end. Change the momentum a bit.
Well, and even
So-
beyond that, to try to score 2, yes, that rock's behind the tee line, but if you just freeze to it, you haven't left yourself much room to score that second point.
Yeah, exactly. So they're playing this top one, and
Yeah.
there you see, peel weight.
Makes the hit, drives it back, does make contact with that shot stone. It will hang on for a bite at the back edge of the 12-foot. And
Does
that-
change the color of the rock out front in the control zone. And
That little biter hanging on, though, might
Yep.
mean that the blank is out of play.
that's true. And Chantel says, let's go again. Do it again, Christy. Just make it better.
Little less. 7. You got room. We're okay. Close. Line only. Same weight. We're deep. Same. Deeper. You tight. You gotta finish it. Haley, yep, go. Haley. Yep. Go.
Very nice. So now that she made that good shot, is that your daughter or Mark's?
Oh, no question about it. That's her mom's draw weight.
Well, I heard her mom say something about her intern a little while ago, so.
Oh no, she
that
didn't
was the
inherit
intern
that.
draw.
Even if you chip off the front, it could be okay. Yeah. Hack here. Move.
Still a very nice chance here, though, for Krista to move this rock around and possibly put her shooter in behind that red corner.
Nowhere hack! Nowhere hair up! Yeah. No, we're hack! Hard! Splitting! Hard! Go!
See, not a very good weight call. They thought that was hack, but that's nowhere close to hack.
Not a terrible result, though. It taps that guard into the rings. It'll open up shot stone.
Yeah, Chantel will need to make a play on it.
Oh, for sure. It turned out the next best option for sure, so that's always a good thing that you got something out of the shot and actually improved the situation a little bit.
Little flop isn't awful.
I would say she improved it quite a bit because that shooter rolled over. Now you've got a double corner guard on the side, and you're going to have a chance to play the hit and roll behind that on the next stone.
Yeah, you know, that's where Sherry's going to be going.
In case she makes a roll.
Yeah.
You might be able to use it. Sure. Nose isn't horrible. Nose is pretty good.
Okay, let's do this. Let's go. You got it. It's pretty good. Easy. Easy. Clean. Whoa. 9-5, Christy. Okay.
She certainly would have liked to have stayed in some white paint there somewhere to cut down the roll opportunity here for Sherry.
Well, and she was even talking about keeping that rock somewhere where she could use it.
Exactly, so bit of an overthrow.
Can't use it now until next end when you throw it again.
True.
A good 10, yeah. I'm thinking
Yeah, it's hard to count those ones that are over there in the corner.
No, yeah. True.
Sherry Anderson looking for the hit and roll over behind the corners. This time with her out turn, so she's got to battle that turn that doesn't curl quite as hard, but
it does go when it comes off the line.
It will go off center. Can make it a little touch and go here as to where it starts to cross. If it starts to cross that center too early, you'll have a hard time holding it.
Not making its move yet. Must have just started there.
They've decided to go the other way.
Take it!
Or hit it on the nose.
Yeah, if they were going to make the decision to go the other way, they needed to make it a little bit
sooner.
10.
So throwing that way, throwing my out turn, it ran pretty good. But it kind of ran. So I think that should be good.
Okay. And you want to go for the roll this way? Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even if we're still biting a part of the forefoot.
So they're playing the same roll, just changing up the turn.
Not sure.
Sometimes those are a little easier to call on the high side when you're waiting for them to cross face.
Turn draw. So 10.
Sure.
Hit.
You got this.
Even with a nose hit here, Chantel Everly will have a chance to force
Easy
the single.
10.
She can make the roll, force Sherry Anderson to draw against two. This turn does curl a little more. She's going to play plan B. Makes the nose hit.
Same.
Well, Sherry says I'll just throw that same thing I just threw. Doesn't exactly have draw weight in her back pocket just yet.
Well, and you don't have a clear path for a draw right now.
Oh, for sure, and she just threw this. Not much decision there.
Same kind of weight. Yeah, it was 9-7 or 10.
Final stone in end number 4 for Sherry Anderson. Needs the nose hit to pick up her single. And that call a clean coming out at the hog line. Pretty good indication she's got the nose. Will pick up her single point. Chantel Eberly will take a 3-1 lead and last rock into the 5th end.
Okay.
Totally my first. I'm very excited. Don't worry, we're gonna have a great time. We're gonna throw the rock and practice, and then we're gonna actually play games. Really? Yeah. Awesome.
Not be better. Could be better.
Want to try it and have some fun? Hurry hard to your local curling center or visit CurlSask.ca to find a curling center near you.
Oh, Canada, glowing hearts, see thee rise. True north, true pride, strong and free, both far and wide. This land is glorious, and it's ours, from sea to shining sea.
You're always home on Canada's largest wireless network with no roaming fees.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, we've got a few more scores to report for you here, and all games complete through 4. Susie?
I'm not sure how Amber got her 1 point, but she was forced to take it. And now they're most of the way through the 5th end, and the Nancy Martin team is trying to set up for 2 points here.
And over on sheet 2, as we see Ashley settling in the hack to throw her last rock. She does have a thick double that could possibly give her 3 points. She did give up that steal of 3 in the 4th. Right now the score is 4-0 for Candace over Ashley, but I'll tell you
timing these updates just right so that we can watch Ashley's
last rock
if
every
we
time.
can get the camera switched quick enough.
Just like that, she made the nice double, and ooh, her shooter roll.
Shooter squirts through, and hard to tell whether it's stuck in time. We won't
either
get
got
the
2
camera
or
switched
3,
around in
I'm
time
not
to
sure.
tell whether it was 2 or 3, but
I think 2 would be my bet. So my guess is, and I did see them motion 2, so 4-2, Chisholm over Howard.
We saw Sherry Anderson make a nice solid nose hit and stick for 1 point, looking at 2 to get on the board and make it a 3-1 game in Chantel Eberly's favor.
And over on sheet 4, Penny Barker was forced to her 1 point.
She made a really nice half open hit against 2 points or 2 Lawton rocks there to stick for the single point. She just got by the guard to avoid giving up the steal of 2.
And now we just see it's a wide open end over there, only 1 walk in play. So it's setting up for a blank end over there.
And just briefly back to the Barker-Lawton game. It is nice to see Stephanie Schmidt rejoining the team.
Steph mention that.
Had missed 2 games due to illness, and they were able to find a local recruit here to come in and fill in very, very well. But they're back to their normal lineup this evening.
Yeah, they sure are. I actually think it was 3 games last night and the 2 earlier today.
Oh, that's right. They had the 3-game day today.
5. Yeah, you're going to roll off of it.
Yeah, and Stephanie's back.
They were happy, though, to report that it wasn't anything contagious. It was, and I don't know if they've got a firm diagnosis. There was some earache issues and stuff like that, so maybe an ear infection. And even this afternoon, they were saying she was already starting to feel better with some medication that she'd gotten prescribed yesterday.
Well, that's good.
And obviously feeling well enough to be on the ice tonight.
There you go, and she's playing well.
Chance here perhaps for the double and the roll. Just gets the one, and I think it's still the yellow shot stone.
So given the scoreboard, they're going to peel the center.
Larissa Murray just looking for the straight peel on the guard.
Nicely done.
Sure. Yeah. She has to play at some point. Yeah. Okay. Halfway or better, Chris.
Sherry Anderson will look to put those guards back, and you may see a little bit of cat and mouse here now. Sherry will put a few guards up. She knows that Chantel's going to peel a couple of them at some point in time. She's going to have to deal with those 2 stones on the side, but
not for a while.
Not for a while, and then the issue that you run into is if you wait 1 shot too long, Chantel decides to try to score 2 on you.
Yeah, fooled ya.
Yeah.
Nope, 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 nope.
But that's always the fun in watching an end like this. It's a question of who's going to blink first.
Yeah.
Well,
that changes things.
And after we discuss all that, then you slide a rock right into the house, and that completely changes it.
I know. I feel like this turns easier. Sure. Okay, just a tad. Yeah. Yep.
Chance now for Larissa to try to hit and roll away from those 2. Don't know if she can roll in enough to be second shot. She'll be happy just to spread the yellows out for now.
Okay.
Those hits not the end of the world. Sitting shot in 3rd.
That was a 15-3. Okay.
Certainly still creates a bit of a dilemma for Sherry Anderson. She's looking at this long and hard to try to figure out her way out here.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. Make a call. Yeah. Okay.
Now they were on the sweep on this one right away. She must have been just a little bit inside. This has been the straighter turn. Are they able to hold it? Yes. Good job by the brushers.
Just that nice, easy weight. Keeps that shooter in play.
10.
And by making the hit on the nose, she forces Christy to make a roll to get into the rings. Makes this shot a little bit tougher.
Little down. Soft. 10-2. I don't know. Curl. 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 Curl.
Makes the hit, rolls over a couple of inches, but does stay outside of the rings.
Now, this is the opportunity that Sherry was looking for.
Okay. Kind of got a nose.
Well, it is.
Still not straightforward exactly, but
just nose it. Just nose it. Okay? I'll throw this better. That was horrendous. Wait, it was okay?
So apparently she didn't like her last throw. Said she'd throw it better, but
it was light.
She didn't have the weight on that one. Just nudges her own stone to the back of the 8-foot. It is shot rock now, but it's open on the other side of the guard. And that was the trick to that shot. I didn't mind Sherry's idea to play the red into the yellow and try to roll behind the guard. It almost looked easier than that shot, just because those spots have been so tough to tell whether they're going to curl enough or not.
Oh, no. Gotta move. Little soft for sure. Yep. Yep. Clean. Clean. Oh, 11. Yeah.
Well, sometimes it helps to take your own broom if you're going to throw a different weight than what was asked. So still got the result that they were looking for.
Sherry Anderson trying to eye up whether or not she's got room to make the double, or the angle to make the double.
You want to go for it?
Well, double or roll.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, it's like half for the double.
Less than half for the double, but
okay.
Just so you know which one.
Okay.
Yeah. I like the hit and roll.
Okay.
First.
Okay. If we're not curling enough, we'll call the double.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm going to play some weight because it does curl here.
Yeah. Like a 9.
Yeah. Just.
Okay.
I thought threw it okay.
Yeah.
Actually.
Oh my God.
Let's go there. Okay.
9.
Yeah.
Okay.
9, 9.5.
Okay. Yeah.
So they talked about the possibility of the double.
What do you like?
Or just the straight hit and roll.
Make the roll.
2 options on this shot for sure.
Make the roll.
Yeah.
Roll behind if we roll on top of theirs.
Yeah, I like
make
it.
the double. I'm going to throw about a 9, 9.5. I thought you threw yours pretty good and it really moved, right?
Yeah. Okay.
That looks like a lot.
Yeah, actually, with the angle that those are at, I don't even think you have to be worried about getting caught in between. We did see that in an earlier game
I
today.
think it looks close.
Where somebody playing the either or shot got caught in between and rolled over the top of the second stone. I don't think you can do that on this particular shot.
No, you need to stay aggressive on the sweep call here.
Close. Yep. Yes. Yes. Okay, you're nosing. Yep. Okay.
Sherry really hoping to keep that shooter, but now that opens up the opportunity for a split on that front yellow.
Yeah, well, they were looking to hit that much on the other side, so that one really got away from them.
We don't need the guards,
right?
so
we gotta make sure.
Even when we split the house, she might just go around, right? Yeah. So let's do this.
I think she's called the split, hasn't she? Or is she just drawing a come around here?
I like it. Yeah, so I think just back ring. It's not very far out.
Yeah. I like it.
I was thinking, I was sure she'd called the split, but it looks like a lot of ice for a split.
So draw to center is probably 14. 14 and a little.
Yeah. 14. You got this.
So this takes a lot of nice weight control here. You do need T-line plus in order to get some distance. If you do make contact with that front yellow, you're trying to get as much separation as possible from the stationary stone to the shooter.
Yeah, that's a especially good point on this shot. You could get both rocks into the rings with front 8-foot weight, but you might actually leave a triple if you do that. You've got to spread these out. He definitely doesn't have the back ring weight. And
So
with that being a little bit
underthrown
light,
there. Yeah.
Taps it straight back, still sitting 2. It's not a terrible result. You're still going to have a chance to score a multiple here.
Yes, but it does give Sherry a really nice opportunity to come under what basically is a staggered center guard lineup here.
Yeah, that's right. If she can make the roll now, it's a staggered guard situation.
Okay. Let's make this.
Okay, pretty good one.
Yeah. Stay close.
Yeah.
Sherry Anderson over-curled and rolled out on her first stone. Didn't hear anything out of that sweep call. It made me think she didn't throw it good. This rock is in a path that they probably know a little bit better. They haven't thrown a ton of rocks out on that outside corner.
So Sherry with a nice opportunity here to put some big pressure on the Eberly team if she gets that roll under to the center line.
Well, they were on this one right away. Over-curled on her first one and rolled out. Needs to get the roll behind, and hard for a piece is not what you want to hear. She does make the hit, removes it. Now.
This is a much more difficult split being right on the center line, but it is there.
It is, but it's still there. You just played it. You know what you have to adjust.
And you've got the top yellow one to give you a little bit of wiggle room just for, you know, if you throw back line weight, you're not going to take your own yellow 12-foot one out either.
Worst case, you tap it straight in, right?
So I think
if your weight is there.
I threw it tight, right?
You did.
So I throw more weight.
I like it.
I throw more weight off the base of it. And this is farther over. My other rock was fully at center. Okay.
What'd you split on that first?
I got an 88.
Okay. I think
So
I had an 84.
70.
A little bit more weight. Make sure of 2, right? For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. You got this. Yeah, give me an inch more. Like you can.
Did hear her say she threw the first one tight, but and the rock is just a few inches over further, but she's actually got a full foot less ice than she did on the last one. She knows she's got to throw about 6 or 7 feet more weight too.
Weight's better. Weight's better. Yellow. Oh, yep, yep. It'll go.
Weight's okay.
Sweep calls are off and on is usually a sign that you're close. She gonna hit it thick enough to get both of them in?
Yes, she
Looks
does.
like she did, and that'll be a score of 3 for Chantel Eberly, and she'll take a 6-1 lead into that 5th end break. Kim Hudson has made her way down to ice level. We're going to see if we can get a word with Chantel. Got to think skipper, after making a nice shot like that, will be happy to talk about a few things. She's got her. Looks like they're ready.
I do, and we're going to walk and talk at the same time because apparently we're going to go all the way to this camera. So nice shot there, Chantel, by the way. And I also want to say to you, I see this is your 14th time at Provincials.
Kind of scary to say.
Well, and that's what I was just going to say to you. 1, it's an impressive number. And 2, I also think that mathematically your odds are you're going to win this darn thing one of these times. So
At some point, that's the plan.
And
that's why I keep playing.
And that's my question. How do you take that experience and use it this weekend?
I mean, it should make me a more relaxed player. I mean, it is what it is. Don't put too much pressure on ourselves and just go and curl. Like, this is what we love to do. And I mean, I'm not going to worry about the numbers. So at some point, I think it'll happen. So I'm hoping that it's this week.
Good for you. Also notice you've got a new team and a new coach, the dapper man back there in the fedora. How's he helping you out this weekend?
Great, actually. We decided probably a month and a half before provincials that we thought we would need somebody to help us out when it comes to provincials. So we worked a lot technically with us in the last month. So it's been a great help. It's just good to have the extra year out there, and he's got the experience. So it's really great.
That's good. And of course, that's Mark Lang we're talking about. Thank you so much for talking about us and talking to us or about us. And good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Saskatchewan Championship Curling is brought to you by Viterra, SaskTel, Service Equipment, White Ice and Eastside Paint and Wallpaper, Jiffy Lube, CurlSask, and SaskTel Mats.
awesome!
Not better. Could be better.
Want to try it and have some fun? Hurry hard to your local curling center or visit CurlSask.ca to find a curling center near you.
When you need to hurry, you can count on Team Jiffy Lube. With fast, warranty-approved service while you wait. Jiffy Lube, your oil change experts.
Introducing the all-new heated cab for the John Deere 1R tractor. Simply captivating.
As Canada's grain industry leader, Viterra and its employees are connected to their communities across Western Canada. Through its community investment program, Viterra supports a wide variety of causes and initiatives, including those focused on sports and recreation that encourage teamwork, integrity, and high performance. These same values guide Viterra's employees when providing farm customers with trusted advice and quality service. Viterra is a proud sponsor of the Scotties Tournament of Hearts.
Oh, Canada, glowing hearts, see thee rise. True north, true pride, strong and free, both far and wide. This land is glorious, and it's ours, from sea to shining sea.
You're always home on Canada's largest wireless network with no roaming fees.
Welcome back, everyone. All of the games now into the 6th and even one into the 7th end already. Just flying along tonight. We'll give you an update as to what's going on.
Back in the 5th end, Amber Holland on her last stone was trying to run a top 12 to back 12-foot double looking at 2 Martin stones. Amber only needed to come up for another inch and it makes it, but instead she hits, rolls out, and Team Nancy Martin had the open draw for the 2 points to go to the 5th end break, up 4-2.
And over on sheet 2, we saw the 2 points that Ashley Howard made when she made that nice double. 6th end was blank, so the score remains the same, 4-2. Chisholm over Howard, also leaving Chisholm with last rock as well, playing the 7th end.
Sherry Anderson looking at 2 Chantal Eberly stones in the house, hits and rolls out, allowing Chantal the chance to split a rock that was about 6 to 8 inches off the out of the house on the center line, and Chantal makes a beautiful split for 3 points, up 6-1 going into 6.
Over on sheet 4, where we have Penny Barker, our defending champion, playing against Stephanie Lawton. We're down to the last 2 rocks, 1 for each skip in the 6th end. As of right now, Lawton is sitting from this angle 1, possibly 2. I'm not sure who's second. So looks like Penny's trying to come around and come in there. We'll have to get back to you exactly on what's going to happen over there.
Hard to believe with an average of 10 stones in play every end that they actually had a blank in the 5th.
Yeah, that is true. Oh, there, we can actually see. So I think we're going to
One stone left for each team. We'll see. It's hard to tell who's got second shot right now.
Exactly what I just said. So we're going to show you these last 2 rocks.
Penny's rock is halfway down. Sweepers are not touching it at all. Rock's just coming in over the hog line. Seems to be past the guard. Trying to get a little curl on here for the finish.
Can come off of her own and get shot rock that way, but just
Not quite enough curl. Good try. Maybe they'll tell us who's shot or second or third.
Shot rock is
yeah,
Lawton.
clearly won, but looks like she's going to come around the other way, try to draw for two.
Yeah, I don't know if she's got a shot on the other side, even if it is.
Yeah, no.
I think Penny Barker got second shot for sure with that one.
I agree with you, Sean.
Well, let me write that down.
First time this weekend. Actually, it's only the week. It's not even the weekend.
After a tough start to this game, though, for Stephanie Lawton, they gave up a deuce in the first and a steal in the second. They did pick up 3 to even it up in the third. This is their first chance to take the lead.
That is correct.
Needs to almost bite the button. Not much out of the brushes so far. They're a little clean early. Looks like this has got a curl.
Yeah, I think so too.
Weight's not bad. They're trying to get some extra curl out of it now. I don't know if this is going to get line to get inside the edge of the forefoot enough.
Yeah, weight was great.
And I don't think it curled enough. Close, but looks like it's just the single point for Stephanie Lawton. So they'll be all tied up there. Back to our feature game. Chantel Eberly brought the first 2 into the house. Now the exchange, as they try to peel the corner guards, is going on.
As we say, this is a pretty textbook start. That, however, is not textbook.
There's nowhere where that comes up in the playbook now. The only saving grace, if there is any, that they push that guard so wide, it's just debatable whether or not you can even use it.
Well, and it's long too.
It's long, but it is on the straighter side. If you could ever get around, it's hard to throw the extra weight that you need to come around that and move something. Not going to make the rings, but if you're half around as a guard, it still makes this stone a better guard and hard to peel it.
I think Chantel's...
Exactly, Susan. You're going exactly where I was. Chantel's decided you can't peel them
Here we
all.
go again. But I don't know. I'd still be looking at the scoreboard and taking a shot at that other corner guard, and you peel it out, great.
Keep in mind we are on your third rocks already.
Still a lot of red rocks to go, though. I don't know.
Well, I think the decision she's made here is getting to the point where how do you peel them all?
All I know is if I'm in Sherry's position, I'll just take anything I can get to work with right now. And if you're going to leave me something, I'm happier as what I can be out there right now.
Okay.
Well, Sherry Anderson going to look to come around that corner guard now. And interesting because this would be the first attempt I think I've seen them make. Well, she's gone back to the other side.
Change of plan.
She does not want to draw towards sheet 2.
Finished nicely at the end.
Had the nice weight. I don't know if she got behind cover though. Maybe just the edge of the stone, a quarter of it.
Yeah, just play. Let's do this. No. Let's do 10. Okay. Here's up there. You got it, Christy.
Yeah.
Makes the hit thin, but does get rid of the redstone. And probably don't care that they rolled out.
Okay, changing it up. Same weight?
And now Sherry Anderson's going to look to come around
Anything maybe a foot more.
the other corner.
Okay. I got the same. Weights of 5, 6, 6. Whoa, just a 5. 6. 5. Don't lose it. 5. Yeah, we're there. We're past your broom a little. Mine's great. Gotta say stop. Real nice.
Really nice line by the guard, and will come to rest. Second shot, but it is buried.
Yeah, it was a nice shot.
Around that corner guard that I wasn't too happy leaving in place.
I knew that's what you were going to say.
Just had to get that in there.
I don't hate going around them. We're Christmas tree right now.
Come in and then
You get one in there. What does she do?
That's the best you could do. I don't mind that. We peel it. She's gonna wrap. I guess then we hit that and give her cue.
Are we giving her any chance to break to go here?
No, as long as we're there.
As long as we're at least second.
I don't mind it.
Okay.
So the weight is still the same, right?
I think
You
so.
just were a bit light there. Yeah. Okay.
Well, they could peel the top one and say, go ahead, Sherry.
Running pretty good here.
Take your 2 points. We'll peel the top and then hit the open one. Given the
Right away,
scoreboard,
for
not
sure.
a bad call. I don't
Like
mind
we're
this
shot
call
one.
either.
Yeah, she
They're
has to make a
shot.
play on that top one.
Well, it's certainly consistent with
Even
it's
if I
certainly
come back
consistent
forward,
with
make her drop.
leaving that corner guard up there
Yeah, I
anyways.
like this.
That she was clearly going for the force using her rocks in play.
Yeah, there's only 2 red left to come, so.
Yeah, it's a little faster.
faster.
You got it.
Mine's nice.
6.
6, 7.
Really good.
Yeah.
Through.
Yeah.
Chantel Eberly looking to come around the 2
6,
yellow
7.
stones at the top of the rings.
Line up. Yeah.
Sit 2.
Line only.
Yep. Room. Yep.
Oh.
I didn't like that sweep call, room, and then you rub the guard.
Good news is they're 1 and 2. No double.
You want to call time?
Kick that in or not. No.
No? Okay.
No, we're going to hit it, right? So it's either where do we go? Or try to play it soft and go there.
I don't hate that. Yeah. It's tight.
It's tight.
Oof. But we're down by 5, so you gotta take a chance. Kind of wait. Yeah.
So they're going to try to get under those double yellows.
Even if you
Looks
get
pretty tight,
half
but
under.
certainly
Yeah, makes her
doable.
look at something.
Yeah, not necessary that they get fully under the guard, but you
There
want
isn't a
to.
lot of room there, Court.
You don't think?
You'd like to do something to force a hit and roll out from Chantel, so you'd at least have a
Get you 2 points.
shot
Yeah.
for your 2.
The only other thing is nose double, but she's sitting 1. Where are you rolling? Well, we're trying to get in and half tucked. Okay.
Okay.
With just hack weight.
Yeah.
Hey, Sherry.
Don't mind her idea of playing the nose double now either. She'd be sitting
keener, though,
second
right?
and third.
Well, the only reason I quite like that is I'm not totally sure this one's here.
Well, sometimes that's the right call, is the one that's actually possible.
Yeah. However, she's throwing it, so she must believe that you can do it.
Moving. Close. Yep. We're not gonna curl enough.
What do you want for it? Well, I was going to try to go the other way. Okay.
That was pretty firm hack and
Didn't stick to late too. It's
still got quite a bit of curl there. So
10-5-ish? Yeah.
certainly a late finish there on whatever weight you're throwing.
Yeah, Chantel needs to stick around for a second shot
10-5.
here, so
Yeah, we can try
forces
nose it,
Sherry
that'd
to
be
her 1.
great.
Chantel rolls out.
Little
And
flop is just fine.
Right, you certainly
Have
don't
a
want to leave
chance for
Sherry
2.
the double for 2 here.
yeah, she's pretty good at those.
But first things first.
Make it go away.
2. Has to stay for a piece of the 8-foot.
Good. You're good.
And no mistake there.
That was pretty nonchalant.
Yeah.
Sherry's got a draw for her 1 point.
Alright. Go for it. Yeah. Yeah.
I need better than 14 and a half.
I think 14 and a half is close.
Better now, right?
Yeah, a little bit. I think 14.7 is close.
Okay.
Sherry Anderson with her final stone here in end number 6. You can see the scoreboard behind her already trailing by a score of 6-1. Facing 2 here, desperately needs full 8-foot to pick up her single.
Line's fine. Full 8.
Can ill afford another steal.
Really curling. Line's good. Nope. Curling. Curling. Line's great.
Brusher's really just cleaning that. That's usually a sign that the weight's pretty good.
Nice shot.
She will bring that stone in right to the top of the button, picks up her single point, and Chantel Everly will have last rock again when we come back for the 7th end.
Introducing the all-new heated cab for the John Deere 1R tractor. Simply captivating.
White Ice, the ice paint people, set out to develop a very specific ice paint product that would satisfy the needs of the professional ice maker in both hockey and curling. White Ice was successfully formulated and tested, and distribution began in 1988 and has since expanded their line of products and services to meet the needs of today's professional ice makers. White Ice is distributed by Eastside Paint and Wallpaper in Saskatoon, who is also a signature Benjamin Moore paint dealer. White Ice and Eastside Paint and Wallpaper, defining the game.
Welcome back, everyone. I have another update for you on all the scores here in Draw 5.
Just getting down to the last 2 skip rocks here in Sheet 7. Taryn, and I'm sorry I don't know your married name, Taryn Holtby just puts another one on the button. But back to the 6th end where Amber Holland got her single point. That was a cold draw against 5, and she needed full 8-foot plus, and she made it to stay in that game and be down 4-3. Amber on her last rock here is trying to tap up her rock that is top 4-foot, trying to ease it into the one on the button that Taryn just drew in. Looks like Amber's got a really nice one. Can't quite tell who shot, but there are 2 rocks just welded together on the button for Taryn's final shot coming up.
Over on sheet 2, as luck would have it, Candace Chisholm made a perfect hit and roll with her last rock when she didn't need to, but took her 1 point, and the score is 5-2, Chisholm over Howard.
Sherry Anderson finds T-line weight, draws against 2 points to stay in the game, but still down 6-2, playing 7.
And over on sheet 4, this is the last rock of the end. It's a tie ball game with Penny Barker having last rock, and she needs it here. She needs a draw to the 8-foot for her 1 point against 2 Lawton stones. Pretty wide open.
And we'll watch this final stone being delivered. 2 Lawton stones, you mentioned, both back 12-foot. Shot rock maybe has a slight nibble of the 8-foot. And the sweepers have backed away from this one. It's not going to curl enough to get to the back stone, so it's going to have to stop.
It's not looking good.
Stephanie Lawton ready to sweep right at the tee line, and it will go all the way through the back, and it's a steal of 2 for Stephanie Lawton there. Well, for Sherry Anderson, 4 down with 4 ends to play, and you don't have last rock.
Not good, but not impossible.
I think you definitely have to start thinking full bore for the steal here.
Yep.
Force doesn't really help you that much.
Nope.
8. Yep. To your feet. Hasn't really curled yet. 8 for sure. Back. Maybe 9. Or back. Oh. It's trying. Sit down. Okay.
Knowing that Sherry is going for a hard steal here, there was the option to play that tick shot on Haley Jameson's second rock there, and with that kind of weight, that was actually perfect tick weight. That maybe coming into the middle does give you that option.
Well, I think there's no doubt we're going to see them go into peel mode here now as soon as they can.
Okay. 7. Right to the button. 7. Line only right now. Yep, right to the button. Coming down the hair. Right to the button. 5.
Krista Fesser looking for the come around here. This is the first second stone of the end. When you've only got 1 guard to work with, you'd like to make the first stone you put behind it
really good
into a stealable position. You're going to have to guard with your life. That one comes up a little short of where they would have liked it. Now the peel game begins, and you can't think that you're going to, I mean, it can happen, it does happen, but you can't really expect that that stone's in a good enough position to steal with. So you guard for now, you'll let them peel a few, but at some point in time you're going to have to either come around it again or play a tap to try to give yourself a chance to steal, and that's where you can leave a double that could end the game.
Hair tight on my head?
Hey, now. Guys hate me. 2. Let it work if you can. Just a 2. Mine's good. It's on the E here, guys.
That 2 that they're calling out. I think it's about a halfway guard, halfway between the house and the hog line. That's what they're looking for on this one.
Get it past yellow if we can. Good. Good shot. Real nice, Chris.
So just quickly, the Nancy Martin team did capture 1 point there on that 7th end. Must have
for sure.
to take a 5-3 lead over Amber Holland playing the 8th end.
Larissa Murray just looking to peel the guard that was just thrown. I don't want to jinx anyone. I'd like to play devil's advocate, or at least try to guess ahead with them. And every time I do this, they miss the next shot, so that's the danger. But you're going to play these guards for a few. You expect they're going to get peeled. What do you think, ladies, if it was you? Do you want to make the play on that stone with your skip's first stone? Do you wait till the skip's last one? And do you prefer the tap, or do you come around?
You know what, the tap or the tap or the come around isn't going to change anything. You're not going to get second shots. So, or I guess they are shot right now, aren't they?
Now.
Oh well, then you know what?
Actually could sit 2.
Definitely the come around then, because the tap you're only sitting 1, so you might as well. Not that she's probably going to draw anyway. She's going to run the top one.
Just like I said, every time we try to guess ahead, they miss the next shot, and that one gets hogged.
I feel like we do that. Just throw line 5.
Yeah, just try to keep all your yellow rocks on that one side of the sheet, so that if you are peeling a center guard here, you've got a clear path on the other side.
Little soft. Okay, yeah. Not bad.
Does curl here.
9-5. Yep. 9-5. Whoa, no.
stagger the two yellows, so they called the sweep off to get the nose hit.
Sends my bad. Okay.
Back to the center guard, hoping for something to work with.
Well, it does remove any debate. If it comes down to that being the situation at the end, you're definitely coming around now.
Only your tap and anything.
The tap's not helping you. It's
Somebody
the wrong
get
color.
it. You're in. Little bit, guys. Little bit. Yep. Yep. Hard. Hard. Shot. Good.
Amber,
I don't think it
Chantel
matters, but you're
reluctantly
probably go there,
considering
okay?
the peel here.
We gotta peel it though.
Yeah, I like
I
it.
think you might do that too. Okay. Hey, peel. Yep. Yep. Hard. Yep. Hard, 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 hard.
Makes the hit comes across. They were aware that it could come into that stone, but
Good, sweet.
I
Thanks.
don't think that really
That's
hurts
good.
them.
Good job. Yeah. Okay. Back four. It should move the whole way. What are we doing? Yeah, back
So
four,
Sherry's
back
going to
eight.
try to
Yeah.
come around that one in the top 12 foot, use it as a guard.
And she'll be satisfied if it is they're calling it back four. They have to sort of get room for two rocks in there.
Back four. Speed's good here. Yeah. Yeah.
She just threw it that night.
Yeah. So, back four, 14 and a half. Wait's good.
Back eight. Gotta be back eight. Back lots of room. No, we're just top four, T-line. Hard then. Back eight. Back eight. Hard, guys. Hard. Hard. Every inch, never off. Never off. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Great sweep. That was tip to tail on that sweep, start to finish. So probably 25 seconds of very hard work out there.
We're still sitting 1-2, right?
Just gets the top corner of the button. They were looking to be back four. I think if she gets back four, she's probably got it buried the way that was finishing, but where it is, just maybe a quarter of that stone undercover. Lots of room for Chantel to get it out. She won't care if she saves
Nothing
the shooter,
cute.
probably just as happy to roll out.
9. Yeah. Let's make it go away. For sure. Okay, let's do this. Yeah. Little big.
Makes the hit, does roll her shooter out of the rings.
I'm not on it.
Gives Sherry a chance to throw the same thing again.
Well, they swept that last one all the way down just to get it to the top of the button, and they're trying to get back four. She probably needs to throw, what would you say, 6-7 feet more weight out of her hand.
True, and as you heard Sherry say, you know, the good news for Chantel is that doesn't matter where Sherry goes, she's got that run, and Chantel's pretty good at those. So the more separation they can get, the better.
You don't want to take your sweepers completely out of this shot, but you'd like to leave it where they don't have to sweep until the end so they can finish it behind these two.
Yeah.
They had to sweep the first one right out of her hand.
Line's good. Same weight. Hard left. It's gotta be back.
And same weight or less is not what they wanted here.
We have left. Hard. Hard. Hard.
line might be getting better, but the weight wasn't.
I think so.
Chantel's got the same shot if
The
she
same thing, yeah.
wants
Yeah,
to
there's a
play
little
it. She
bit of
could
air, yeah.
play the yellow onto the red
Yeah,
too.
it's pretty tight. She
There's not a
certainly
lot of
could.
room between them.
Yep. Whatever she's more comfortable playing.
Anything.
I think it just about works out. You could hit your front yellow off the side yellow that's going to tick over onto the red.
Yeah, there's a few different ways you could probably make that shot.
Thing is, she just threw this.
He'll wait. Yep.
Well,
I wouldn't call my shot, but
And she doesn't need to
possibility.
stick around at all. Just make it go away.
Well, even if she jams it on the stone at the very back, she's still scoring too. And honestly, we're probably going to see handshakes here.
No!
She's not full.
Easy! Whoa! Clean only! Whoa! Whoa! Okay, good.
Makes the hit.
And
Gets
misses
it by
the back
stone
one.
At the back, so it's a score of 3, and
We get some handshakes.
and this game goes into the books as a 9-2 final. Chantel Eberle picking up the win.
O Canada, glowing hearts, see thee rise. True north, true pride, strong and free, both far and wide. This land is glorious, and it's ours, from sea to shining sea.
You're always home on Canada's largest wireless network with no roaming fees.
When you need to hurry, you can count on Team Jiffy Lube. With fast, warranty-approved service while you wait. Jiffy Lube, your oil change experts. Winter's just around the corner, so drop into Jiffy Lube for your winter oil change. No appointment necessary. Jiffy Lube. Be wise, winterize.
As Canada's grain industry leader, Viterra and its employees are connected to their communities across Western Canada. Through its community investment program, Viterra supports a wide variety of causes and initiatives, including those focused on sports and recreation that encourage teamwork, integrity, and high performance. These same values guide Viterra's employees when providing farm customers with trusted advice and quality service. Viterra is a proud sponsor of the Scotties Tournament of Hearts.
Welcome back, everyone. Still 3 games left to be decided here in draw number 5. And we'll quickly run through the scores.
Skip Rocks remaining here in the 8th, and Amber Holland setting up for a 2-ender, attempting to tie this game. We'll keep you in touch.
Over on sheet 2, we now have a tie ball game. Ashley Howard was sitting 2 most of the end, and with her last rock even managed to get 3, so a score of 5-5.
In our feature game, controlled pretty much from start to finish by the Chantel Eberle team. They take a very decisive 9-2 victory over Sherry Anderson.
And on sheet 4, we did see Lawton steal 2 in the last end, but we got some rocks in play and 3 rocks left to come here. So we'll have to get back to you on what's happening. Looks like Penny Barker is going to have chances for multiple.
And we're going to turn our attentions to sheet 2.
We missed the last 2 rocks of this end for Ashley Howard to get the 3, but I do know on Ashley's first one, she hit and stayed to sit 2, so that's what Candace Chisholm was facing on her last one. And then the last thing that we saw was a 3, the score of 3 going up. So Candace must have had something that didn't work out, and then Ashley Howard finished off the end for a tie game here to go into their 9th.
Come around made there. The weight was good, but didn't quite get the finish they needed to be fully buried. Christy Johnson has room to make some kind of a play on it. Even just the freeze. I think she'd like to bump it a little bit, though.
And too, just as a reminder, we were saying how tightly packed the field is already playing this fifth draw this evening. Ashley Howard's playing this game with a 2-2 record, and Candace Chisholm is with her record is 1-2. So both teams at 2 losses, trying to avoid that third.
Very nice shot over on sheet 4. A nice double by Stephanie. And a roll, which is going to make Penny have to play a little bit cuter to get her 2 points.
Well, and Stephanie Lawton throwing that double that very few throwers in this country can really throw as hard and as accurately as Stephanie can. Those were 2 frozen rocks, blasted them out, rolled her shooter over, and tucks in beside what is now second shot, remaining 4 shot. So Natalie Bloomfield here in the hack, looking to draw in behind a yellow Howard corner. Attempting to sit 2 here and keep the pressure on.
For those of you who are with us earlier today on the webcasts, Candace Chisholm has found herself a way to get as much TV time as she could. She had the feature game this morning, and she's managed to get onto the back half here of 2 straight draws, even went to an extra end.
And over on sheet 4, Penny made the nice hit, but rolled a little bit too far, so it's only 1 point for Penny. Score now 6-5 for Stephanie Lawton.
Penny certainly couldn't afford to hit her own. She had to navigate that rock, but just a little bit of an oversweep and over-rolled. She had the whole house to roll to, but rolled about an inch too far to only get the 1 point.
Well, and speaking of too far, it looks like that draw slid just a little too far. It might be, I don't think it's still biting at the back. Anybody want to bet a quarter on it?
Not that much.
Cup of coffee? Well, that's way more than a quarter. Nice removal made on the shot stone there. Candace Chisholm now looking to roll away from the guard.
Natalie Bloomfield with her second shot, playing an in-turn control weight hit. Opportunity to roll behind the tight red center. Stays right there, but looks edge to edge. Kim, did your 50-50 ticket work tonight, or?
You know what? I didn't even have time to buy a ticket.
You were so depressed after last night's loss. How much was it again? Another great fundraiser here for the club. Another $800 for a lucky person in Melfort here.
The last little bit of curl. She'd like to get a flop in behind.
That was a very nice, delicate shot by Carly Howard. No room for error, because if she touches that red rock, she's bumping it into the rings. From what we've seen here so far of the Howard team here, especially this backhand tandem, they do like the messy draw, tap, finesse types of shots.
They talked about playing the run back on the guard, but they can still see the yellow one. It's just hard to get under cover this way.
And there's that back little biter there that's kind of right on angle to catch it.
Makes the hit, stays right there.
Really nice shot there by Lanavay. Those are really a team shot there. It takes line call, but two great sweeps to make sure that that rock stays around and stays off that front red guard.
I'll just nose it. Whoa. Okay, clean. Whoa. Ash. Ash. Hard. You take it, Cam. You take it. Hard. Gotta go through. Gotta go.
Has enough to pass it through the back.
Sweep. Sorry, it's a little full.
Certainly a lot more weight than what we've seen on the last 4 shots down there. And able, though, to keep the shooter, so.
Should have taken your bet, Sean. Pretty sure that back one's in.
Yeah, definitely. I just wanted
Judging by Ashley's reaction and
going
call.
this way at it. What do you think? 10-5.
Well, if it's in, she's facing a possible deuce.
All right, we're thinking a 10. This should be nice. Just roll.
Gonna have to make a play on the shot.
Coach is there, doing their work. Coach Russ Howard and Coach Bob Dorr.
Whoa! Whoa! Read off! Read off! Stop, Carly. Still gotta move. Hurt, Kim. Really gotta go, Kim. Get it over there. Okay.
Just rubs that on the way by. Will be enough to get it out of play. The shooter will roll out, and now it really matters whether that rock's biting or not. If you thought it was biting, you could make a decision, try to maybe sit, play the split. You could sit 3.
Oh, that split just looks so tempting.
Doesn't it,
just
though?
Be running right up there.
Well, you'll never get another chance. If you're going to play it, you got to play it right now.
It's a big decision when it does come to playing those splits that you're right. You think lots of times halfway through an end, well, we'll get to it a bit later, and then you never do. So
looks like that's the call.
And it is that little bit off the center line. We've seen how Chantal Eberly made the split. That rock was same position, but on the center line, even a more difficult split than this one.
Yeah, I think so.
You can throw that back 8-foot weight, should get a pretty good result.
Yeah, back 8 is what I. What do you think of that pace?
I think you have to play the split also for the reason that if Ashley Howard decides that she needs to steal here to avoid a multiple end here, that rock is working for her right now.
Close! Close! Yes! 3!
She looks like she's got the back 8-foot weight that she's called. Just has to come up just a bit.
Again, tough to tell, but I would say the one at the front is biting, and the one at the back, I still am not sure that it is.
I'm going to say they're sitting 3.
Looked like the weight was a little bit more coming in over the hog, but it really came down quickly. I think this will be their second and last time out. Coach Howard coming out. The long walk helps to get the blood going again after sitting back there. It's very cold behind those scoreboards.
I mean, you can't give for the 3.
So 90 seconds permitted for the timeout. Includes the travel time for the coach.
Well, they were looking at throwing around the corner, and then Carly said, you can't give up another 3. That to me means the rock at the back is out. But the problem is they don't even want to give up 2.
You can either draw, if you like your draw away, you can go like here. It just, through the hole you can, for sure. Right?
Now,
you get to here.
Now, Russ has 1 foot on the ice, and that is not permitted. So this will be interesting to see if he gets the red card after he gets back after the game.
Go here, and she's got to either outdraw it or run it. She misses the run. It's kind of like all or nothing right here. We looked at that.
Yeah, or blank, because she'd be out if she ran it. But I don't mind this. Think about that.
What do you guys think? Do you?
Yeah, like honestly, that's.
Yeah, you could be just a divider too.
Not awful.
Like
she's got to run.
Over buried as.
I don't mind that because Jam's there. If she ran anything.
Right. Okay, let's make it. Okay.
Well, they discussed the
it
options.
It wasn't coming down much, going.
It's not great any way
like
you look at it. It's not the kind of shot you want to have to play, but you don't want to give up the big multiple here.
I think they can bring it in, right? Like, probably what?
Their only chance to really force the single is make this come around and make it really good.
Well, Ashley said this is an all or nothing shot. You make it, you might steal, you might hold them to 1. You don't make this one, it's probably a handshake.
Should think less?
You do, but if you give up 2, you're losing this game most of the time too. So
that's true.
She wants to force the single, and the only shot she's really got available to do that is to make this come around. It's an aggressive call.
And you guys swept that last E in a decent spot, right?
So Ashley Howard with her final stone here.
Okay, go then, all the way.
The 9th end.
Line's really
looking
good.
to come around a stone in the
Hard's
top 12
really
foot
good.
and hope they get the force.
Hard! Hard! Hard!
Needs to be back 8, but this doesn't look like it's got the legs. They're going to have to really go on this to get it back there.
Light.
Well, they've already gone to plan B. They knew they weren't getting by, so looking to freeze it so they don't give up a shot for 3.
Nose hits will give him 3, though.
Oh, I'd have to stay a little bit on the brim side with that angle there. Or are you thinking the back one is in?
I'm thinking the back one's in.
Okay.
And the only reason I'm thinking that is because I'm pretty sure I heard Ashley say it was.
Still have to, can't come anything more than the nose, though. You definitely have to stay on this broom side. If you do come across, you'll leave them with 1.
Yeah, you can't can't save your shooter and the red stone behind that yellow. You one or the other. So you either pick it or you make the nose hit and kill both of them. Either one's good.
Whoa. Whoa. Yep. Yep. Hard. Hard.
Makes the nose hit. Kills both of those stones, and definitely looks like the two at the front are in. I don't know whether we'll see a stick, and if we'll see it, how many?
I think they said
Nope,
three.
They kicked it. They're going to say 3. Kim wins a quarter.
Just baby that a little bit. Yeah, I just thought wide and then.
White Ice, the ice paint people, set out to develop a very specific ice paint product that would satisfy the needs of the professional ice maker in both hockey and curling. White Ice was successfully formulated and tested, and distribution began in 1988 and has since expanded their line of products and services to meet the needs of today's professional ice makers. White Ice is distributed by Eastside Paint and Wallpaper in Saskatoon, who is also a signature Benjamin Moore paint dealer. White Ice and Eastside Paint and Wallpaper, defining the game.
Take your Share More plan with you and enjoy worry-free data in the U.S. The all-new Share More Canada and U.S. plan, now available from SaskTel.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, all of the games here winding down. We'll quickly recap all of the scores before we return to Sheet 2.
3 skip rocks remaining here in the 9th, and Amber Holland looking at 4 Martin stones right now, but playing a wide intern, trying to sneak in there and get shot rock on her first one. Ashley Howard with a big 3-ender in the 9th end to take a commanding 8-5 lead in the 10th end against Candace Chisholm. Saw Chantal Eberly with a very big game tonight against the Sherry Anderson team from Saskatoon, claiming a 9-2 victory this evening. And finishing up the 9th end here with a 6-5 score for Stephanie Lawton, who does have hammer. And there is just one more Stephanie Lawton rock remaining, but she is looking at 2 reds. My partner here, Kim Hodson, took her quarter that she won from Sean Joyce here and has gone home.
Or at the very least went to buy a lozenge.
Yes, poor Kim, her voice has been fading rapidly here the last couple of ends, so she's going to take the last few minutes off here and rest the vocal cords and be back ready to roll for tomorrow afternoon's draw.
I don't know if she'll take him completely off. If she thinks I'm wrong about something, I'm pretty sure she's going to pipe up.
You bet.
So Amber Holland on her shot, just as we watch this throw-through go through, did get that wide intern to come into the back 8 for shot rock. So all of a sudden it's Taryn that needs to do the wide out turn draw in order to tuck around her own top 12 foot to get shot rock again. Throwing up a second corner guard here for the Howard team, we have Ashley Williamson. As we all remember, Ashley and Ashley were Jolene McIver's teammates when they were Team Saskatchewan 2 years ago at the Scotties. Very nicely done by Ashley Williamson.
Got those very close to even, no double possibility.
Taryn Holtby came heavy on her draw. Amber Holland has now this out-turn draw, needs a full 8 foot to count 2 points. Give you an update here in 35 seconds.
Clean. Yep, hard. Yep. Clean. Okay, good. Good girl, Matt.
Natalie Bloomfield makes the peel, rolls her shooter out of play. That's what they're going to be looking to do for the next couple now. Ashley Howard needs a nose hit, and in order to score 3, she really needs it in the next couple of stones. She wants 2 corner guards with enough time to use them.
And Penny Barker with a big steal of 2 in the 9th end has just taken a 7-6 lead against Stephanie Lawton, heading home in the 10th.
No, it's good.
Sweeping really, really hard on Amber Holland's very last rock, and it looks like she's just tipped off the front rock, and I think she's got second shot for, looks like they're counting up 2 yellow points. Amber Holland will be tied with the Nancy Martin team, coming home in 10. Nancy with hammer.
Corner guard was replaced on our game that we're watching now. Natalie Bloomfield will look to once again peel it out.
Hard! Hard, 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 hard.
Hit that a little bit more full, but rolls far enough that it's not covering any of the rings.
What is? This is really weird. What about something center line? I was thinking it's just longer for her to roll. I think she might leave a center or corner.
Kim Schneider, of course, of Team Amber Holland fame, 2011 Canadian Women Champions and 2011 World Champions, or sorry, silver medal champions.
I heard Carly talk about possibly throwing a center
Gotta
just to give her a longer rollout. This is the key, these next 2 shots. You'd like to be coming in, when you need to score 3, you'd like to be coming in on the third's first stone. So you need to create the miss right here.
Nope, nope. No, no. It's okay. Clean's good. Good shot.
Makes the peel. The shooter comes across, makes contact with that stone just off the boards.
This one would have been off.
Did they make contact with that before it hit? Because
Well, it would have hit this one first, and then I think it was rolling up, like I do. No worries.
I think that they were both rolling out. I mean,
Like I have no idea what
they
happened.
did the way it turned out. The only reason they're discussing it, they must have made contact with it before it hit the other stone. So just the one rock to work with now, and only 4 left to play. If you're going to try to score 3 of them, you have to come in now. You can bury this towards the back of the house. You expect that Candace Chisholm will make a play on that corner guard, and you really need to hope that she doesn't peel it cleanly, even if she rolls to a guard somewhere else.
Hard! Whoa, hard!
It's got a nice line by the guard.
Whoa, whoa, leave it high. Whoa, 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 you're fine. Good.
Well, she made the nice come around. Lana Vey now looking to peel that corner guard.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. Hard. Hard, Christy. Hard.
Makes the hit. Sure rolls over.
Good.
Again, maybe not all the way out of play, but not covering any of the 12-foot anymore. You'd love to be able to come in here, but really need to throw the guard, and then you're going to have to hope she just either feather ticks it, runs it back, and stuffs it.
Yep, yep, yep. Got a curl too. Yep, 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 yep. Hard, 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 hard. Yep, 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 yep. Good.
They were going on at the end just to get enough curl to bury. Looks like they've covered it. Candace Chisholm will make her way down, look to peel this stone, and If she can get rid of the guard, Ashley Howard's going to have to come into the rings. And it'll be an open hit for Candace Chisholm to run her out of rocks. Makes the hit, rolls her shooter out.
Like that. That's
They made it sound a little more dramatic than they had to with those woe calls.
Good here.
She had a solid piece of that stone.
better here than where I just threw. I think,
What do you mean?
Speed's probably better.
Sorry?
I'm just thinking I threw down the middle path and it's probably quicker to the wing, right?
Right.
That's all I was thinking, just a faster path.
Okay.
You think?
Yeah, I like that. I agree.
Well, needing a bit of a hope and a prayer here. First of all, you have to put this rock in the rings, and then you need a complete wide open miss to be able to get back to the hack to throw your second shot.
Kind of came straight down the slot.
But just talking about which path, I guess apparently there are a couple little draw weights out there, and we do see that a lot where going off the line like this, sometimes it is a little bit quicker. So they just wanted to take an extra second and determine.
I think she knew the path she wanted to play. She wanted to confirm in her mind that the speed was going to be different down this path than the last draw she threw.
But again, it's always good to take that moment and just lock in that weight that you want.
Let it work if you can. Yep. Ashley? Yeah, go
You're
right
okay,
back.
You're okay. Right back.
Yeah, right back, right back, right back.
Okay.
Good sweep, guys.
That's where draw weight is, eh?
Brings that stone into the 8 foot. It is shot rock, but
Good wings.
Candace Chisholm's going to make the play on the other stone. It's a very similar throw to the one she just made to peel out the guard.
9-5, yeah.
If she can make this stone go away, she will have run Ashley Howard out of rocks.
Yeah. 9-5, it should come up a little bit. Easy. 9-8. Easy.
No sense of any panic there after that throw.
Just a call of
easy clean.
Usually a nice sign. Just needs to make this go away, and she'll hit it right on the nose. Candace Chisholm picks up a win in this draw number 5. She pulls even to 2-2.
And that will drop Ashley Howard to 2-3 for her record.
Just 2 games remaining. We're going to turn our attention to sheet 1.
Stephanie Lawton attempting to get 2 points for a victory here. It's been a back and forth end already. We had a couple of misses, but then the other team makes another great shot. So it was kind of one of those. Brooklyn Lemon came in on her corner guard. Then they did have a chance to throw another corner guard. Lorraine Schneider, that's the red center guard up there, hit the corner guard but rolled to the center with Lawton Rock, or a Barker Rock already there. So the draw game has all been into the middle here, and draw taps to get the rocks off the button. Stephanie.
So sheet 1, just skip rocks left to come. Amber Holland needs a steal to win the game. She's got the shot stone there at the top of the 8 foot. The guard was just peeled, and she'll look to put it back.
Megan Frolics had a lovely double peel here to on her second shot to remove a lot of danger that now they've just got the single guard here that they're able to work with.
And again, I hate to keep risking jinxing people, but looks like this guard's going to be made, and you expect that we'll see a peel attempt on Taryn Shackle's first stone. And then what do you do if you're Amber? Are you guarding that stone for your life, or do you have to tap it? Is that one good enough to steal with?
Haven't seen too much of this game, but it depends sometimes on the opposition and what the skip has made and done. Either one of those shots are good calls, so you got to try to predict which one is she most likely to make a half shot or perhaps miss.
Well, Taryn Shackle, sorry, for every great draw she's had to the button, she's also had one that's gone deep. So that's going to be a tough call, because I think Taryn, though, has been making more great draws than not. So I don't think that the 4 foot there is too small a target for Taryn right now. I think Amber's going to have to play a tap.
The only thing that makes a really tough decision is the taps aren't easy to make perfect. If you could place it, if you could come down and tap it absolutely perfect and tap it to maybe the back half of the button, dead behind your own shooter, she'd have a hard time making the double and scoring. She'd probably have to lose her shooter to make that shot.
So they have, Team Holland has called a timeout. They do have 2 minutes and 10 seconds left, but again, it's the decision is tap that up.
Oh, we can't listen in. They
No,
don't have
they don't
mics.
have microphones.
They don't have mics, but Amber's indicating that the tap is her first thought. Of course, part of the reason you play it as a tap, you could try to straight come around too, but you get the most separation you can get by playing the tap because your shooter's up another rocks higher. Well, the other question is how far do you tap it too? She's indicating back 4 foot. I like just back button. You tap it all the way to the back 4 with the shooter at the back top 8. She's still going to draw for sure. You want to leave it kind of at that threshold where she's got to think about, okay, do I want to draw or do I play the double?
I like that shot. I think that's the natural one with that rock not even touching a piece of the 4 foot. You're going to get nice 3 feet of separation. And even if it doesn't come all the way up and get the perfect line, Taryn will still be looking at 2, requiring a nose hit. So I like this call. Same thing too, Kim. I think we talked about that earlier in another game. If you can give that opposition skip 2 shots, something to think about, something to cloud the mind just a little bit. And yes, Kim's nodding. No time threat here for Amber. There is 1 minute and 50 seconds left on the clock.
Sweepers pick up the brush a little bit off the start, waiting for a line call. It's got to come up a bit. Well,
they're yelling hard line now.
Going sideways, really. We haven't had much of a look at sheet 1. I don't know whether this grabbed something. That's curled right by it, come up a little bit short now.
But she's in a spot, the nose hit. Yeah. Sometimes you wish they would just make the shot the way they called it.
Well, it made any attempt at a draw much more difficult because she doesn't have as clear a path.
And a nose hit on either one does not give you shot rock.
Well, if you try the double, you know, it's not impossible to spin up and out of the rings and blank this end. I think the only reason you try this double is because with the rock that was just thrown and the other one being just that much on the outside of the center line the other way, there's no real clear path to the 4 foot either. If you had a button draw path available, I think she'd be drawing here.
Saying whoa right off. Oh, now they're starting. Heavy clean.
Needs a fairly thin piece of the first one to make sure she doesn't spin out the top. spins up.
And makes
but
a
it will
very nice
stop
shot.
at the 12-foot.
But you're right, Sean, if she'd had just a little bit more weight, we'd have that blank end.
Or catches the first one just a little thicker. As it is, she picks up the single point she needs to get the win over Amber Holland. So after starting out with 3 losses, the Martin team picks up 2 wins today and moves to 2 and 3, keeping themselves alive. And we're down to 2 stones left to throw on sheet 4. Stephanie Lawton trailing by 1, but definitely looks to have her chance for 2 set up. Penny Barker has called timeout, and they're trying to figure out what they can do to take it away.
Just while they are discussing that shot too, just talking records, that loss does drop Amber Holland to 1 and 3. So we have a logjam here of quite a few teams at 3 losses.
Time is back in. Do you want to guess whose third shot here? I don't know whether they're looking at the double or...
So as a reminder, Stephanie Lawton with a record of 3 wins, 1 loss. Penny Barker is at 1 win, 2 losses.
Hard to tell with where that guard is. Can she get enough to the inside of the Yellowstone to play the double? Or the way she tapped the ice, it looked like she was looking at the hit and roll over to the corner of the yellow. That's maybe the best she feels she can do. And if that is the case, Stephanie Lawton will have a chance to score 2. She might have to catch a piece of the 4-foot from the intern side.
Now
they're
need
looking
it to
for the
curl
curl
up here.
now. Makes the hit, rolls a couple of inches to the inside.
Didn't cut down the rings though for Stephanie Lawton, so just needing a little nibble of the 4-foot here for the win.
There are no guards blocking this path at all. It'll all be up to the brushers. This has been a back and forth game all night.
Steals all the way around, a 3-ender. It's been several changes of momentum out here.
Well, several lead changes as well, and Stephanie Lawton hoping to have one more lead change right here. So here it is, her final stone. Came into the night leading the field at 3 and 1. Would like to stay at 1 loss. Not a thing out of the brushers so far.
Penny getting up to sweep here, and it is not stopping.
Starting to dig in, but will it stop in time? And it does not. It's going to slide to the back of the 12-foot. It'll just be a single point for Stephanie Lawton. Well, they're going to look at the 3 around the outside. Thought maybe they were going to pass a stick around those, but they will concede that it's just the single point, and we're going to have an extra end.
As Canada's grain industry leader, Viterra and its employees are connected to their communities across Western Canada. Through its community investment program, Viterra supports a wide variety of causes and initiatives, including those focused on sports and recreation that encourage teamwork, integrity, and high performance. These same values guide Viterra's employees when providing farm customers with trusted advice and quality service. Viterra is a proud sponsor of the Scotties Tournament of Hearts.
All right, people, let's get to work. Lights off.
Ma'am, there's someone at the door. Unknown male, might be a salesman.
Take care of it. You, drop the temperature. I'm roasting.
Ma'am, your straightening iron. Shall I pull the plug?
Yes. While you're at it, leave room for milk.
Winter's just around the corner, so drop into Jiffy Lube for your winter oil change. No appointment necessary. Jiffy Lube. Be wise, winterize. When you need to hurry, you can count on Team Jiffy Lube. With fast, warranty-approved service while you wait. Jiffy Lube, your oil change experts.
Well, welcome back, everyone. Just that one final game left to be determined. The extra end on sheet 4. Two teams do get a bit of a break after the 10th. Susan, we've had an interesting day of activity. We're trying to get the standings all sorted out. This is a big game as far as those standings go. Stephanie Lawton, she can pick up the win here, and she will need to steal it now. Will move to 4-1 and be the clear leader. But if Penny Barker can,
well, she would be tied. She would be tied with Chantel Eberly, but based on that victory today
right,
that Lawton had over Eberly, that still would leave her in first place. But we only have one other team at one loss right now, and that's Robin Silvernagel, and they have the bye this evening.
But if Penny Barker can pull off the win here, we'll have quite the grouping of teams at 2 losses.
So 4.5 minutes put on the time clock for a team in the extra end. You are allowed 1 timeout.
High guard was played first, and this is the come around attempt, but they did not want to be right behind the button.
Danielle Sosinski slipping just a little bit deep there.
So now the attempt to throw the tight guard.
Brooklyn Lemon back in her regular place as lead on Team Lawton. Stephanie's yelling hard for line.
Not going to get it by, and it really didn't have the weight to make the tight guard either.
That must have come down. The sweepers had yelled out 2-3 as soon as Brooklyn let go, so I don't know if it caught a little heavy ice or if they just misjudged it, but I think they thought it had the extra 6 feet that she needed. Danielle Sosinski looking to stay top house this time round. But this is not heavy.
Still just the 4th stone of the end, so they couldn't make a play on those guards yet. And this is going to end up giving Stephanie the 2nd guard she was looking for. I was going to say the saving grace for Stephanie with those 2 guards where they are is that any attempt at a double peel is probably going to stay in the middle.
Still, that's 2 teams that we've seen this evening not attempting a tick shot on their first one, opting to go into the rings. But right about now, without even attempting tick shots, here we are, 3 rocks up and game on for trying to get the steal. Must be a little speedier down this side because Christine Gertsen's rock is going 6 feet heavier than what she was hoping for.
Penny Barker now looking at what they can do to get the double peel. We don't have mics on the players, but we can hear them live in the building. Lorraine's looking at run the yellow across the top of the red, try to get 2 that way. That's probably easier way to get 2 off the center line. This double on the 2 yellows, it's going to be real tough not to just stay right there. And I don't know that Penny is looking at the same double that Lorraine was looking at. She's going to look to hit the rock more or less right in front of the red stone, try to clip the red one on the way by. Makes the hit, runs it back, does get 2 stones. Shooter will stay up there, but there is a port now through to the middle.
Nice throw by Lorraine, good weight shot.
Still 2 guards for Stephanie to work with. They're not lined up. But they do an effective job now. You don't have to worry about being buried on the button because I'm not sure you could get to the button with either turn right now.
First they gave Stephanie Lawton an indication it was top 12-foot weight, but then they said, no, we think we're okay, we're coming in.
Like to get a piece of the 4-foot with this. They're going to come up short of that, and it is still just second shot. So chance now for the double peel, and you see Penny has indicated off the yellow, back into the red, and the shooter will come towards the rings.
Just a bit thin.
Jumped the sweep early. I'm not sure what they saw there. Then backed it off and just comes underneath the second stone. Stephanie Lawton, no panic. Still got rocks to work with, so going to try to get a better center guard. And ideally, you don't want to leave any kind of a double this time.
Stephanie Schmidt looking to throw a tight center guard.
Brushes were on that most of the way down. They want to get some separation from that red so they don't leave an easy double peel, but I think it's still there if Penny wants to take it on. It is just the one on the center line that they really need to be worried about, but you do have the chance here to get rid of both of them, and it would be real tough to jam it and stick it right there.
So Deanna Doig being asked here to remove that high center guard.
I think you were right the first time. I think it was Deanna that was asking to remove just the center because Penny looked at the double, but I think Deanna said, I'd rather just get the one. And that's not the way they were looking to hit it. Don't know whether she was inside on that or if they got some curl they weren't expecting, but does manage to get it out and gets her shooter off the center line. Still with that shooter staying in play, it's getting to the point where the in-turn might not be available to get to the button.
I think you're right, Sean. That's looking pretty closed off right about now from the angle that we're looking at.
The center's still open, but it's always a little uneasy for the skip when you know you're only going to have one shot available, and you hope it's still there at the end of the end. Well, had a little trouble placing the first guard, makes the second one really good. Deanna Doig, no trouble with the peel this time.
I think it was just a much better throw. That just looked a lot more solid. The first one, she actually let go at about the top of the 12-foot, so I think that got that little extra curl she wasn't expecting, but that was a really solid throw.
Of course, we don't have mics on the players, but there's a quick little discussion there between the Stephanies about perhaps whether or not to play the come in now, whether you're tapping or coming around. With that broom, it looks like she's going to throw one more guard.
Well, even if Stephanie Lawton puts this up and Penny was even thinking about being the first one in there, there's no room, there's not going to be any room for Penny to get in anyway. I think she's going to have to peel regardless of where this shot goes.
She puts the guard right on the center line.
But now it's determining which rock is causing you most grief. Is it that center line guard or is it that top 8-foot rock?
Well, it's the guard. If you peel the guard, even if Stephanie makes the tap, you're still going to have a shot to score. If you don't peel the guard and Stephanie makes a come around, you're going to lose this game. So she's going to play the peel.
So the defending provincial champion here, hoping to increase her numbers here in the win column.
I think I hear the call of clean go out. Makes the hit. And shooter rolls away as well. So now Stephanie Lawton. We're not directly in behind the sheet, but I think she's got to play the tap. That's what she's looking at. She could come around that long red guard, I suppose, as well, but it looks like that would only be corner of the forefoot. You really wouldn't make Penny's shot any harder.
We're Fonger deep in thought here. Penny's coach.
Stephanie Lawton. No time trouble, but they did call their timeout. I see it counting down. She doesn't have a coach, so no one to come out. Stephanie Lawton. 3-1 coming into this draw. Needs to pick up the steal here if she's going to move to 4-1, and looking to make the tap back to set that up.
They're calling out back 4-foot weight.
Trying to get it to curl. This has got a lot of room. She wants to tap it back, leave it behind her shooter, but not going to get the finish she needs. Taps that on a bit of an angle, so it should be wide open.
And a nose hit shouldn't create a jam opportunity there.
The jam wouldn't
or
be
wouldn't
shot
count
rock.
for shot.
The counter would be the shooter. The only thing you have to be careful about, you can't angle jam it. If you jam it onto the yellow and roll too far, that could possibly still leave a steal. She maybe can't see enough air to pick it clean from the center line side. They've called their timeout as well, but not looking for a consult here with the coach. Merva's still seated behind the scoreboard.
So from our angle, it looks like there's enough there for the out-turn nose hit. I think they're just discussing weight, but with shot rock, second shot rock there in the back 8-foot, just call it as a peel and
again, we
let that one count.
Can't hear them. We don't have mics. I think the concern was, though, if they nose hit it, drive it back onto the red, but not flush onto the red, and it comes across onto the yellow and then spins up, they could lose it that way. The call was to straight peel it now. They're not going to try to stay at all. And you'd love to be able to play this from the other side, but that long red guard is in the way. It's an easier shot from the other side. There's nothing that you have to worry about jamming it on, but it's only an easier shot, I guess, if that guard isn't there.
Well, Penny did just throw this peel pretty much in the same area. Oh, she really gave an extension on this for the weight.
They were on the brush early, now just backing off to a clean. Penny Barker with her final stone runs it back, clips that second stone, does pick up her single point and the 8-7 victory over Stephanie Lawton. That keeps the grouping even closer together in the standings, and we'll be back with you tomorrow afternoon for draw number 6 on the website, and we'll see you on SaskTel Max tomorrow night.